existence. It is Ukraine Media Center, Ukrinform. I'm Vasil Samachvalov, and today we have with us Dmytro Zhivytskyi of Sumy Oblast Military Administration. Hello. Dmytro, our first question is quite simple. The counteroffensive of Ukrainian troops in the south means that in other areas of the front lines, including your region, the behavior of Russians could change. So over the last day, we did not have any considerable changes. There were shellings of the communities in the Sumy region, and they still persist. The only difference is that this night, unlike in the previous nights, we had some shellings in Sumy, Akhtirka districts, in Krasnopilska community, but otherwise these are daily shellings, and the types of weaponry are the same. These are mortars, MLRS, artillery, and also grenade launchers. So whatever they have, they keep using. Another question. Despite the war, you have to deal with issues of peace and restoring the normal life in the region. So what are the main challenges are there in your work? The challenges are quite numerous. Indeed, we need to establish close cooperation with the local government. We need to work fast, and certain documents need to be drafted, and also depending on the speed of their work, our response can proceed. So we can initiate the recovery of certain facilities. We have good mutual understanding with the communities, with the military, with the law enforcement. All of us are working like a united mechanism. And also, in addition to the situation with the shellings of the communities close to the border, and we also have combat operations which entail the limited funds in the region, which entails problems with the salaries, with the procurement for the military. So these are interconnected things indeed. Can you share more about recovery of capacity of the communities? We know that there were challenges with the members of parliament representing the region, the party of traitors. There were representatives of different institutions. How are you managing the reinstallation of a Ukrainian government in the deoccupied territories? Well, we have criminal cases against two of the mayors of the communities. One of them has been apprehended. So the secretaries were replacing these mayors in their offices. So there is certain interchangeability, but the decentralization reform in such small communities in these difficult conditions, they are facing the highest difficulties in the new conditions because they have very limited income in their communities. But generally, there are no considerable changes in the architecture of power, and one mayor has joined the army from Krasnopilska community since the very first days of war. So in the same way, the deputy and the secretary are replacing him. And Otherwise, in the communities, the configuration of local government is more or less the same. Yet another issue here is the beginning of the study year. So the situation in your region will surely be different from the west of Ukraine. Can you share about the condition of your schools? How many schools will open their doors in September 1st, and how many children will be able to attend them? Well, we will learn the exact number after 5 p.m. That's when we will have the final sitting of the Regional Commission, after which the order will be given for each of the educational facilities. Usually in most schools which have opportunity to have classes, this will be a mixed form of study wherever they have bomb shelters. Some schools will be working in the online mode only, specifically in the 25-kilometer zone along the Russian Federation, because these shellings are not happening deeper than 15 kilometers into Ukrainian territory. We are adding another 10 kilometers for safety, and if the distance permit in the rest of the region, we make these decisions together with the parents. A couple of weeks ago, the majority of parents were against offline education, but right now, having explained the situation to the parents after the local governments and the emergency service did their jobs, and the conditions were created in the bomb shelters. And when the parents saw these conditions with their own eyes and understood that it is actually safer in the school than at home. I've been to Konotop district recently, and over there we were requested by parents, even in situations where the school is closer than 25 kilometers to the border, we were requested to resume the mixed form of instruction, so that a student can be with the teachers in the school, with the doctor, with the nurse and everyone. It is safer, according to parents, to stay in school compared to staying at home without adults. So we have some questions from the room. Hello, I'm Alena Subko from Ukrinform. We have several questions. Do you consider the possibility of forced evacuation of the territories that are being shelled by Russia from their territory? And also, are you noticing many people are coming back? I mean, those who evacuated in the beginning of this full-scale invasion. And yet another question about the current study year. Are you noticing the decrease in the number of students and teachers? Thank you. Over 90% of education professionals who have left, they have come back. We have weekly monitoring of our education facilities, institutions, including the primary, secondary school, higher education. The majority of the staff has come back. And your first question was about, do you consider the possibility of forced evacuation from the territories heavily shelled by the Russian Federation? We are not planning any forced evacuation, and Unfortunately, we did not have any casualties recently, judging from the frequency and density of these shells. We had a couple of casualties over the last months, but those people who want to leave are supported. They can contact their local governments. They can contact us. We support them with the transport. We can find them accommodations in the region and in Ukraine. And generally, we have evacuated children's facilities that were under attack. In this case, we will not be resuming the education there, but generally, despite the number of shellings, we are not planning any shelled evacuation. It may seem that the shellings are happening along the border daily, but it's quite a long border, and people have generally got accustomed to the situation. So, some technical challenges with the online connection. So, because of technical reasons, we have to finish now, but this was quite an exhaustive information. This was Dmytro Zhivytskyi, the head of Sumy Regional Military Administration. The next briefing is going to happen in just 15 minutes. We will hear from Dmytro, from the head department of the National Police in Kiev region. We will be speaking about the beginning of the educational year.